following podcast contains violence, strong language, shirtless men playing volleyball, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. Well, they must be close. I'm getting a hard on.
I want some butts!
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Tony, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
Hello, and welcome to the Four Guys and Movie podcast, the podcast about movies, snacks, and all things nerdy. I'm your hot boy pilot, greasy long jeans. These are my wingmen.
Go ahead, Joe.
Goose!
I am Lieutenant Commander Leyland Brick Harley.
Fuck.
Working the Hot Shots reference in
Yes,
there.
I am.
Okay, that's cool.
He says, lying.
Guys,
Mountain Doozer.
there you go. Mountain Doozer from Fraggle Rock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cousin to the Cave Doozer.
We watched Top Gun.
Speaking of doocers.
Now, I was surprised when this came up because I was like 90% sure we'd done this already.
That was Iron Eagle,
No, I
which if you
definitely
could believe was much worse.
I could tell those two apart. I just, for some reason in my head, I just thought we had done this movie already. I think maybe at this point I figure we've done all the notable films. We're just into the dregs now. Top Gun, huh? Who's seen this film before?
I have many times, but it has been a long time, and many things were not as I remember, which we'll discuss during the rundown of the episode.
I saw it in enough pieces and with enough disinterest that I often confuse it with Hot Shots. Because to me, they're the same movie.
Yeah, I realized as we were watching it that I have never actually sat down and watched the whole thing. I've watched 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and changed the channel, and now I remember why.
So you just
changed
watched the
the
volleyball
channel.
scene both
Yeah,
times?
over and over
Look,
again.
This is one of those movies that was in the repertoire with Iron Eagle, Red Dawn, and Commando and whatnot. Of like when I was a single-digit little Joe, I would just watch the fight scene at the end, and maybe if the movie had like an action-packed beginning or something, and fast forward through all the talking in the middle.
But then you finally grew your other fingers and you could open the door and get out. I don't know. Something struck me funny. A single-digit Joe. I just got like one
got better.
I see. I see what you
long
did there.
finger, like that monkey, whatever. That lemur.
You mean
fucking thing.
E.T.?
No, it's a real animal.
Oh.
Yeah, one finger for play and one finger for fast forward.
That's the is that the tapir?
No.
What?
There's that one. It's not a rodent, but it's some kind. I think it's a marsupial. It's some sort of tree creature with big old eyes, but it's got this big tappy finger.
One long ass
That it-
finger
oh.
that pokes bugs.
Yeah, it like grabs termites.
Tarsier.
Tarsier, that's it.
Tapir is
like
the
a elephant looking.
With
the
a
snooty-
giant dong.
To be fair, most animals that have to mate on all fours, like a lot of them have giant dongs because it's
Yeah,
Need
you're just getting the
reach.
tip in there.
So, Top Gun.
Yeah.
Want to talk about some stats?
Sure.
All right. What we want to guess on budget and the opening or the gross in the U.S., or do we want to just start with the budget and then you can guess what the gross is?
That's usually what we do. The
Yeah.
budget and then the gross.
Well,
You're gross.
according to the IMDb's,
Or we're gonna guess usually.
You're just gonna tell us?
I was going to tell you about the budget.
Were you gonna make us work for it? Like, don't we have to guess?
Yeah, you could
That's
guess.
the format. We miss you already, Tony.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
I don't know. This had heavy Navy help, so probably the taxpayers subsidized a lot of it.
Nice.
I'm so glad.
I paid for worse.
How much of it though was like B stock?
I don't know. I know famously, like all of those fighter scenes, like all the missiles that shot, it's the same missile filmed from a bunch of different angles. Navy's like, we'll fire one, but that's all you get.
That's all you're getting.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not like $5 each. So
No.
that makes sense.
Little retard Jimmy has to go catch that thing and bring it back.
I'm gonna say, I mean, this is 86,
Sorry.
so it's probably like 10 million.
I'll go 20.
I'll say 12 because I mean those jets had to cost something.
You are the closest. According to IMDb's, the estimated budget, it says estimated, is 15 mil.
Okay.
What do you think the gross U.S. and Canada?
Not much more
Number
than
is.
that.
No, this movie did good.
Did it?
I think so. I mean, it's a
I feel like it's a
staple
cult
80s
classic,
film.
but
You're just thinking of
It might have been video
Scientology.
sales.
It's a different cult.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it did like 40 million, which would have been very good in 1986.
35.
oh damn. I'll go 25.
So, according to the IMDb's, this is the gross total in U.S. and Canada. It's 180 million.
Wow. Okay.
Top Gun was a big hit.
It was the top biller.
And that's just for like when it came out, not.
Opening weekend was 8 million.
That's
Total gross U.S. and Canada was 180 million.
Okay.
I think that's more than.
Total gross worldwide was 357 freaking million dollars.
Top
Of course,
Gun
a
was
lot
a
of
popular
that,
movie.
a lot of that was, our adversaries that were studying our flight capabilities because
By going to see
they
Top
can't
Gun
really
movies.
pay. They can't discern between fact and fiction.
I will give you potato for movie tickets.
You got any facts about this movie, Brick?
I could tell you the score.
No, it's
On
Kenny
Rotten
Loggins, fucking Danger
The
Zone.
score. Joe, who was in this
who
movie?
was
Rick, you're
in it?
fired.
Yeah. All right. I'll get one of my military rants out of the way right now.
End an episode before 8
Yeah.
goddamn o'clock.
There's
Kills me.
Tony, we miss you.
the plane that they're up against, the MiG-28 they keep talking about. No such plane doesn't exist. The plane that they are flying against is an American F-5 painted black with a red star on it. That's my one fact I know about this movie. Okay, so you got Tom Cruise as Maverick, Tim Robbins somehow getting the second slot on this list as Merlin, Kelly McGillis as Charlie, Val Kilmer as Iceman. I remember him being like a fucking asshole, like when I watched this when I was a kid.
Yeah, he was pretty nice through the
He's
whole
just,
thing.
he's a
just
pretty
there, yeah.
decent
that's
guy.
That's the trick with Hot Shots because that guy's an asshole if I remember right.
He's got Anthony Edwards as Goose, Tom Skerritt as Viper, and Michael Ironsides as Jester.
As Michael Ironside.
He basically has Michael Ironsides. They don't really even, they don't introduce him with any kind of name. He's just there talking to you, and you're like, all right, Michael Ironsides, I'll listen to whatever you got to tell me. Just keep your forehead over there.
That's right. Star-studded cast,
Pretty good cast.
to be sure. But you know what else is pretty famous? Kit Kat chocolate candies.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good segue.
And they come in many different varieties because Kit Kat is just, they're wild like that.
They win.
So I picked up churro flavored Kit Kats.
I will say, Kit Kat, usually when it comes out with a different variety, most of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll say too that the length and the narrowness of this mofo, it's like a scaled down runway. Very appropriate for Top Gun. It's a
saying,
long strip of
You'd like to land on it?
Kit Kat. What?
You don't
Give me a
have
Kit
to-
Kat and I'll break a piece off.
He'd stay sticking in his hole, but we already know something's in there.
got some stuff there.
My treacle covered hands can't really get the bag open.
Tree color? What?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Churro Kit Kat.
All right.
So I don't really like churros to begin with.
Yeah, well,
Not
Churros are that thing
Just
that's covered
participate,
in cinnamon.
John.
And
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So it's gonna be cinnamony. It looks to be white chocolate, which has surprised me in the past before, as far as Kit Kats go.
Decent smell.
Smells neat. Yeah.
All right.
I just
So
eat
Brick's going with the break in 2 technique. I'm
Uh-huh.
going double
Just
barrel.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
double
double down.
All right. Here we go.
You know, it reminds me of a cereal. It's almost like the cereal marshmallowy kind of flavor to it.
So
Not
here's
a bad thing.
Here's the problem. It's not that that's that bad of a candy, but as we
makes you want a Kit
recently
Kat.
established on our Patreon content candy tier list, that Kit Kat is S tier, top tier candy. There's really nowhere to go but down.
Right.
And that's what this has to do by default.
It's like it's not bad. I don't hate it. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
Like I'll eat more.
I wouldn't pay money for it.
No.
Yeah, it's a little white chocolate heavy on the back end. But overall, it's fine.
Yeah, that's about it. It's fine. It's like a C plus, but it just makes you want a Kit Kat.
This seems like the best thing in one of those tins of candies, where it's like all assorted candies, and then you're trying to find the one that isn't just like
Crap.
hazelnuts or some shit.
The candy
I'd
bag
eat
that
those.
feels like a surplus sale.
Yeah, pretty much. So this would be like the best one out of those, where you're like, okay, I can eat this and just feed my depression for a little while.
Yeah, it's very meh.
It is very mid. Well, thanks for joining us again for another segment.
I mean, that's going to be about the rest of this podcast. It was very meh.
It was very mid, as the kids say, yeah. All right, Top Gun guys. Danger Zone.
Flying in there. So in the beginning, we get a pretty cool theme before the Kenny Loggins takes over. And you get a little splash on the screen telling you a bit of history of fighter weapons school. What the pilots call Top Gun.
And that's a real thing? It's
That
an
is a real
actual
thing.
existing-
Yeah, that is a Navy program. I don't know actually if it is still around today because dogfighting's not really a thing anymore. But
See,
it really wasn't in the time this movie was made either.
that opening little text blurb made a claim that it was training the top pilots, and it was in the Navy. And I'm thinking to myself, something doesn't smell right with that, because the Air Force has existed
Yeah.
long enough that it would have been around at the same time.
Yeah.
Because planes.
It's
So,
a different branch.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but like saying top pilots, like the Air Force has pilots. So, like top pilots in the Navy or top pilots overall?
It's
Whoa.
it's Navy. The Air Force has its own equivalent program.
Okay. All right.
But these ones launch their planes off of boats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Flatboats, hopefully.
Navy's also more likely to be the ones initiating first contact with the enemy, and if there were to be a dogfight, they would be the ones having it.
Air Force mostly just goes to parades and stuff.
That's it. They just parade around.
I hope my brother never listens to this.
They do flyovers.
They buzz the tower just all day. Buzz
All
the
day.
tower. $2 billion stealth aircraft. You don't see it coming until it buzzes the tower.
Yeah, all the pilots name themselves Maverick.
Yep.
Brag about this movie, never realizing that it's about the Navy and not the Air Force.
So, from what I understand, and I don't know this for sure, but from what I've heard, one big inaccuracy of this movie is the call signs. Like your call sign's never that cool. Like your call sign is usually like the first time you fuck up, something related to that, and that's just you forever now.
Oh, it's Jimmy killed his partner Johnson.
Well, you'll notice in the credits, the actual pilots that they list, it lists
like
their call
Fatso.
signs, and there was Sobs, there was
Rat.
Bozo, there was Rat,
There was one called Too Cool.
there was Too Cool,
Cool.
there was also D Bear. But Too Cool's about as good as you're going to get for a name. You're not getting Maverick or, or Iceman or anything like that.
Henry third marriage. Wallace.
Goose could be believable.
Goose, yeah, Goose
Maybe
is
a
believable.
goose crashed.
Just
into
kill
the
a goose.
plane.
I mean, maybe Iceman because of something like they put that jock itch thing in his underwear or something.
Icy
No,
hot.
after their first day of training, they all went out to get food, and he was the guy that bitched about too much ice in his soda. So.
No, Iceman's the guy who just doesn't understand anything, and it's because he was thawed from the prehistoric era.
Or
So-
he just slipped on a patch of ice.
Either way, right? So we learn about Top Gun, and then we see we're on the deck of an aircraft carrier. You got F-14s preparing for launch. You got this cool theme, and then it just transitions right into the Kenny Loggins.
Oh yeah,
Gentlemen, for the first time, we're in the danger zone.
well, that's true. And it's a place I'll never be sad to be in.
So
Danger zone.
probably the only one at the table, but like for me, this is a fucking awesome opening. Like I know, like Rick likes to see his movies where the demons possess people. John likes his guys with swords. Robs likes his dinosaurs. I like my fighter planes on the aircraft carrier.
I just like them bad. I like them bad and cheap.
So
No, I agree.
I really
No,
enjoy
this is
the
a very
opening.
cool
to this
opening.
movie.
I will say that the lighting was nice. It definitely romanticized the hell out of that.
In this film, if you're launching aircraft, it's got to be dusk or dawn.
Absolutely.
Like
So when you mentioned that, like, part of me was like, "Is he serious? Is that really your role? Is it just like for vision?"
you better hope you shit before you go because you're up there all day. If it's summer, you're going to be up there for like 16 hours.
One hell of a fuel tank.
They just send you up, for 2 minutes and bring you back in before the sun's
Yeah.
fully up.
Imagine if, like, after everything and you clear to take off, you just launch and right as you're going away, you're like, I got poop. I'm coming back around.
If anybody's listening in
Can't fly today.
and
I
has
got the
actually
splats.
flown one of
I mean,
these,
I can't imagine. Like, as soon as
how
we
do you deal with
as soon
that?
as we go
Well-
to start the podcast, I'm like, oh, it's time to
Yeah.
take it down.
It's like
Well,
my driving to
yeah.
work every morning.
I believe you are wearing some sort of military issued Depends, and you just got to shit and fly with it for the rest of the mission. Good thing
That's
both-
why you needed a shower. So
Yeah.
I need a shower.
Good thing both people in that cabin have their own independent air supplies.
Yeah, but they weren't wearing them for most of the movie. But
Yeah, that's just because it's a movie and
Yeah,
they want
it's-
you to see their lips. Like,
fuck it.
yeah, you'd be wearing that the whole time. Either way, I love aircraft carriers. They're really cool. Planes launched off catapults. I gushed for that for a while, and then we cut to inside the CIC on the aircraft carrier, and we get that bald guy that's in all the 80s movies, the principal from Back to the Future,
hard ass.
the sheriff from Masters of the Universe.
It's like a. So here's the thing. I started to call him a low rent Donald Pleasance,
Yep.
but then it occurred to me that Donald Pleasance is the low rent Donald
Yeah.
Pleasance. So where does this guy rank in Donald Pleasance's?
Oh, I mean, he's at
More?
least 2 or 3 Donald
Yeah,
Pleasances.
okay.
Yeah.
He's higher.
Yeah. This guy, I don't know if he would necessarily take Donald Pleasance in a fight, but he would chew him out to such a degree that Donald Pleasance would
I
just.
need reference.
So Donald Pleasance is the doctor guy in the Halloween film franchise.
Nope.
Is he not?
No, I just don't watch Halloween.
Oh, you do. Okay. I was like, wait.
Not my bag.
Trying to remember what other things.
That's
he's been in,
that's
but
the
yeah.
problem that I'm running into. He was in Puma Man.
Yeah. Donald Pleasance is more of
But
a
man,
Puma Man.
Donald Pleasance is more of a crazy guy. This guy's more of a angry guy.
I'm trying to think what movies Donald Pleasance was in now. Because I want to say, Donald Pleasance. But no, this guy's been in way more movies that I've seen.
So we see inside the CIC of the aircraft carrier here, there's a major problem this film has. Everyone is sweaty as hell all the time, with the exception of Charlie, the main female character.
Right. Which doesn't make sense because she has so much friggin' makeup caked on her face this whole time. You
Well,
think-
just the
why
pores
she
are
can't
closed.
the pores are completely spackled shut.
I guess that's got to be it. Otherwise, it would be like, sloughing off like
Well,
sheets of ice.
Yeah,
on
at
the
one
roof.
point they had to redo a take because their entire makeup job just fell off. The sweat was just too much.
fell in
under
Tom
there.
Cruise's mouth.
Oh God. So anyway, yeah, I know way back when, air conditioning on warships wasn't a thing, but I'm pretty sure by the 80s it is. But either way, I'm like, damn, like just everyone covered in sweat the whole movie.
But
It is gross.
they're not even on the warship the whole time.
Yeah,
They spend a lot of time
they're
on
in
land.
California,
Just
known for good
sweating,
weather.
yeah.
Just sweating
They're
it out.
even sweating in the courtroom later on in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a fan going, and that's it.
I don't know.
It's
Maybe
like-
there was budget cuts. They
Yeah.
turned the air conditioning on.
It's gotta smell like Comic-Con over
I
there.
mean-
I can't even friggin'
I
imagine.
mean, when Joe and I were in Cub Scouts, we spent a weekend on the USS Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's still the camping trip with the highest casualties
Yeah,
that I've ever been on.
and that was brutal because there's no air conditioning on that ship.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably about this time of year, July.
I slept on a sheet of canvas.
But where
I-
was that located in the United States?
Massachusetts, Fall River.
Okay.
Yeah, I went up on the deck and slept on the deck because it was
Mm-hmm.
just it was so dank and stagnant in under decks. So I can sympathize with the.
Sure. I just like, why though? Like it didn't add anything.
That's supposed, yeah.
Maybe it was
In-
going.
They're
in
applying
fact-
intensity.
In
I
fact,
don't know.
it took away from the volleyball scene, I would say.
Well,
And any other scene where you wanted like dramatic tension.
there were a lot of parts where I'm like, are you crying or is that the
That's just
sweat?
sweat,
Or
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
did you just walk through a sprinkler? Like what?
Yeah, there's just
Their
a
pores
mister
are
on.
crying.
Yeah. All right. So we find out we got this. We got Cougar. He's flying with Tim Robbins in the back seat. That's Merlin. And then they're flying with Maverick and Goose, our main characters. And that immediately pisses off the guy in charge of. We never get his rank or position. I'm just guessing he's the captain. But there's a bogey coming towards the aircraft carrier. So Merlin and Maverick have to go intercept him. The MiG-28.
Goose and
Well, Goose is in the plane with Maverick, and Cougar and Merlin are in the other plane.
right. You said Maverick.
Yeah, they're in separate planes. They gotta go intercept them.
Oh, I see.
And
So
they're
you're
both pilots, right?
listing
Although, the
just
pilots.
the front pilot.
Although technically Cougar was piloting that plane because I took my notes wrong.
Yeah.
Either way, the MiG-28 fictitious plane has one impressive power that it constantly uses through this film. It can duplicate itself.
Right. Well, one of the Decepticons, I think, could do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it stands to reason that this is secretly a Transformers movie, just not with a high enough budget to make any Transformers.
So the plane that they're flying in, the F-14 Tomcat, very impressive piece of machinery.
Right on.
Oh yeah, and I want to talk about the F-14, not Transformers. But there was
Oh wait, Starscream is an F-50?
in the
No,
he's an
F-14,
F-15 in Generation 1. In the Bay movies, he's an
He's
F-22.
F-22.
Yeah,
But he's an F-15 or 14?
F-15 Eagle.
He's okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he does not have the sweeping wings. I'm doing a bird flap.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So anyway, the F-14, when it was when they were retiring this plane, there was concern because it's super sophisticated radar and avionics.
They would keep coming back like
Will
Michael Jordan.
The big thing that they were like, we don't want to retire this plane because it has
Joe
this.
needs his moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm listening.
then
This is interesting.
We'll watch movies
Yeah.
with swords soon enough.
exactly. I don't get many of these.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No,
this plane
got
with
my
super
attention.
sophisticated radar and avionics can't
gonna
detect
get
that they are
another
two
beer.
planes. So they just duplicate. So anyway, there's two MiGs now. So Maverick's going to take one, and Cougar's going to take the other.
Well, maybe they were on top of each other.
Radar would still probably tell. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean maybe if they were flying close enough
Yeah.
to each other, it would show up as one.
Maybe.
They're
doing an unsafe maneuver.
Well, speaking of unsafe maneuvers, so Maverick
Takes the
just
cake for
flies
this.
behind this MiG, gets a missile lock on it, and the MiG's like, "Oh, I guess you want me to leave now. I'll go." But the other ones, he's like, "Fuck you! I'll go over to Cougar here. He's a bitch, and I'll just lock a missile on him." Cougar immediately fails his leadership check. He just breaks right there, shuts down,
Quite terribly.
I should be dead right now.
looks at the picture of his wife and kid, and just stops doing anything. It's like, Tim Robbins, you're in charge. Tim Robbins like, I do not have this.
This was right about when they were 200 miles out,
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
Yeah, because that was where I said 200 miles out, bored already.
Somebody passed me something that's not a croissant.
Not a croissant.
Like a zebra dick.
Yeah,
Dick to the dome. Thank you.
I do not know anything firsthand about the kind of person that you become right after training, but I'm pretty sure a rookie would have more nerves than this guy did,
Yeah.
because that he just crumbled.
Well,
I mean, he wasn't really a rookie though.
He was the-
That's what I'm saying.
he
He's-
was the number one pilot on the
yeah,
ship. we
yeah.
find
he
out
should
later.
have he should have had better performance than a rookie. And what I'm saying is he exhibited the performance that a rookie would be able to top.
Well, maybe
He got
he'd never
shook,
been
man.
target locked before. Yeah, it was.
Your little life flashes before your eyes. Your little wifo and kiddo that you've never seen before.
So yeah, I mean, you can
Easier to be detached that way.
you can snap. I guess it could happen.
I guess.
But so either way, that happens. Maverick's like going to go
leave her
land. He's ordered to land, and he's in the process of landing on the ship. Wade just decides, fuck it, I'm going to go get a Cougar. I'll bring Cougar back. So just disobeying a direct order, that'll probably get you some kind of court-martial there. I don't know if that'll get you kicked out of the Navy, but it'll get you grounded for a while.
Like, I'm thinking to myself, he says he's going to go and get Cougar. And I'm like, how? Like, you got to pop the cockpit and, like,
yeah,
hold
he's
his
just going
hand?
to
Like,
eject
what,
onto that plane.
what is your, you know, you can still talk to him through the comms. You don't have to be next to him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get anything about his plan there.
He's his wingman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't leave your wingman.
Well, he did.
He does. He does that many times.
Yeah.
throughout the film, but not at the critical moment at the end. But anyway, so, oh yeah. So before this guy has collapsed, right before Maverick goes to land, he sees off the other MiG by flying above it upside down and giving them the finger.
Yeah.
Well,
Goose takes a Polaroid.
yeah.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, that Polaroid would probably be extremely valuable to the U.S. intelligence.
Yeah. Never gives it over later. I was really expecting to see that.
Yeah.
Doesn't give it over. Claims that they have a Polaroid. Does make the point of doing that. Doesn't give it over.
Nope.
And this is where I was like, oh, this is basically Hot Shots, because this is such a bullshit maneuver.
Yeah, correct. And, you know, we learn later that flying that close to a jet is super dangerous because of the jet wash thing. But anyway.
We learned that later. I mean,
I knew that before seeing
Well,
this
yeah,
movie.
but we get he gets direct
Yes, yeah.
reinforcement that that's dangerous. All right, so either way, he disobeys the order to land, decides he's got to go find Cougar and talk him down. So Cougar recovers and lands, and then he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fly past the control tower.
I already disobeyed a command,
Yeah.
so I'm on a roll.
Yeah,
Might as well.
since we're fucking up.
he's just trying to break the tension, you know.
Yeah, so that guy
With a
that
sonic boom.
three times in the movie, the guy that tries to drink coffee and gets thwarted by Maverick. That on an aircraft carrier would be the LCS. That would be LSO, landing signal officer. That would be number 3 in charge of the ship. That man would
Kill you.
he would have your butt,
He would get some butts.
and you would not be flying again after that.
He would add to his mighty collection of butts.
Yeah. And anyway, so he buzzes the tower right at the moment that guy's trying to drink coffee. And, he spills his coffee, and that's funny. And then we,
It is funny. He burned himself.
he did.
He's probably really hurt.
So now we cut to, Maverick and Goose going to see the captain, and Cougar he can't hack it. He turns in his wings. He's like, I almost orphaned my family or whatever.
I haven't even seen them ever.
Yeah, I haven't even seen
He's
them.
like, he's like, I have a wife and child at home who I've never seen.
Did you order them out of a catalog? Like
So,
what?
I mean, obviously, he was implying that he never saw the child.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
makes
but-
it like the line sounds like he's never seen
He's
his
still a little
wife
fucked up.
or
from it,
child.
you know. But yeah, again, I don't know very much about the procedures and shit, but I'm pretty confident that unlike a cop turning in his badge, you don't just put your wings on the desk of the commander
Well,
when you're actually deployed and being like, I'm out. Like, there's got to
think
be more to it.
It
than that.
depends, because like depending on the threat level of the situation, because like if you're like, I can't fly this $30 million aircraft full of weapons that could crash
Right.
into something,
Well, sure.
you know, they'll be like, okay, maybe we better not send him up. But if it's like wartime, they'll be like, well, we're just going to kill you if you
But
don't go up there.
even if it's during peacetime, like, okay, we're not going to send you up, but it's not like I'm out of the Navy. Like, I'm done here. It's like,
Oh,
what
no.
are you, a
No, but he's
passenger?
out, he's out of the
now?
Top
Like,
Gun
Yes,
program.
yeah, he'll be confined to quarters or something.
Yeah,
and-
he'll be like peeling potatoes in the galley or something for the rest of the
Huh.
voyage.
okay.
Or maybe, you know,
and then he'll get his debriefing and court martial or discharge when they get back to shore.
Yeah, because that would
Yeah.
be a dishonorable discharge, wouldn't it? You didn't finish your tour, and you were just like, I'm done.
I mean, I guess it would
I
depend
mean,
on your psych evaluation.
Yeah, if they saw you unfit to fly, they probably wouldn't give you dishonorable.
They might also do things like, can he fly like a fuel tanker or,
Right.
you know, something else like that.
A drone.
Can he fly this mop?
Witchcraft. All right. So the captain's like, I guess that was our best guy. And Maverick, you sure do suck. And he's like, Goose, I forget what Goose even says. He's like, Goose, you're an asshole, and you're lucky to be here.
Yep. Yes, I am.
And then he's like, I gotta send someone to Top Gun. I guess you just failed upwards.
No.
So, you know, good, you know, thank goodness, you know, you're not gonna have to face the consequences of all those orders you just disobeyed.
No.
Because, yeah, that won't be, you know, relayed up.
Not to mention you fucked the admiral's daughter.
Well, not yet.
Well, no, they
Oh,
mentioned
that did happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, he both did he buzzed the tower on her, and then I think he fucked her later.
This is a preview.
Yeah. So he's like, "You're going to Top Gun. Get out of here because it's humid as fuck in this room."
Turns out it's humid everywhere.
So, now we cut to Miramar, California, Fighter Town, USA.
Miramax.
Maverick drives onto the base on his motorcycle without a helmet, flagrantly illegal.
Drives onto the base
Might
and
not
down
have
the
been in
fucking
85
runway.
or
I think in
86.
California, I believe it was still.
Well, everything's illegal in California.
Yeah, just driving past the planes, yelling like an idiot.
Yeah. See, he's just like, I haven't been court-martialed yet. I just want to start this off right by immediately inviting, you know, reprimand.
You know who doesn't have time for that shit? Michael Ironsides. He's got to talk about Top Gun.
Yeah.
You know his call sign?
Gravels.
Jester.
Gravel
Which is
voice.
funny because I don't know if Michael Ironside is capable of sincere laughter.
Sure.
Like, I think he can laugh if, like, he's thinking about the terrible thing he's going to do to you.
Right, yeah.
But I don't think he can sincerely laugh.
It's really just more of a high-pitched squeal at that point.
Yeah. So anyway, that's Jester. He's like, yeah, in Korea we were awesome. In Vietnam we weren't as good. So we made this school to make us awesome again. And now we're awesome again. Because of Top Gun. Woo, here's Viper.
Yeah.
And Viper's like the best pilot there. And he's like, my mustache is supreme.
Yeah. This on my face is my wingman.
I am not Alan Thicke from Growing Pains.
Oh, God.
I think as a kid I thought he was.
Oh, really?
Who's the other guy? The guy who's like, there, I fixed it on Celebrity Jeopardy.
Sean Connery?
No. There,
Burt Reynolds.
yeah. He's got kind of a
He is not-
Reynoldsy.
Well,
wait.
He is very Norm Macdonald pretending to be
yeah,
Burt
he is
Reynolds.
Norm Macdonald pretending to be Burt
Like,
Reynolds.
A, do you not know that Burt Reynolds is an actual person? B, are you not aware that he's known for other things than Celebrity Jeopardy?
I know that other people know of him
Okay,
from
cool.
other things,
All right.
but I don't.
John, I need a food.
So they talk through class, and then they're like,
Beautiful, thank you.
Viper's like, all right, best person gets a trophy. Fuck the rest of you. Dismissed. Go to the bar.
It's animal night.
It's animal night at the bar.
And so, there's a bunch of furries in there.
Somewhere in between there, we got another danger zone.
Oh yeah, as he was on the runway.
All right. Yes, the danger zone counter is up to 2.
Yeah, the danger zone being right next to the runway does make sense.
So here at the bar, you see there's plenty of ladies, and I believe
ladies.
he said it was a target-rich environment.
It is.
Yep.
He plans on shooting as much as possible.
All duds.
Yeah, so Maverick's like, I get to have sex with all the girls. Oh, look, it's a Val Kilmer.
That's why they call me Skeet and Pete.
Yeah, and Goose is like, that's Iceman. He's the best. He's so cold. He never makes a mistake, and you get really bored, and then he kills you.
You did
That's basically what he
say
said.
that.
Yeah.
It's a cold ass honky.
Yeah, so you're like, oh, that's a Val Kilmer. And Val Kilmer's his guy, his rear, the guy that rides with him, is named Slider.
It's called his bottom bitch. Top Gun.
His BB.
Bottom bitch.
So, all right, so now we learn about Iceman. Iceman comes over, he's like, Maverick, you suck, I'm the best. Maverick's like, no, you suck. And then Goose is like, you abuse children. And then they leave.
That's exactly. That's,
Okay.
he said, yeah, that's
Well,
exactly what he
what?
says to Maverick. He goes, they abuse children. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Because we're not children, so they won't abuse us.
I'm just trying to work that through.
Like a lot of this movie, you just have to nod and move on.
It's getting stuck. It's getting stuck in the lint trap.
So now Goose is like, it's a $20 bet that you can't have sex with a lady here on the premises. And Tom Cruise is like, not only am I going to do that, I'm going to do that with her, that lady at the bar, the Kelly McGinnis over here, or McGillis.
Whatever.
And he's like, all right, here's my approach move. All of us pilots are going to grab the microphone and badly sing the Righteous Brothers at her. Tell her she's lost that loving feeling like 20 times. And then,
She sure has.
yeah, she'll be down to fuck after that.
I alone
immediately.
shall mount her
Indeed.
in front of all of you.
The rest of you should wear your aviators because she's going to mace a lot of people. So, yeah, this woman gets swarmed by all the pilots. And, Maverick's like, I'm an arrogant asshole. I want to fuck you. And she's like, well, too bad.
Yeah.
I'm an arrogant lady.
Yeah.
You could go fuck yourself.
She's like, I'm going to go to... Well, first off, she's like, my date's here. This is some other random older guy. And then she's like, I'm going to go to the ladies' room. And he's like, ho, I'll certainly follow you in there.
Right, I'll just
Stalk
walk
you
right
in
in.
there.
Yeah.
Which, if I remember correctly from the Legal Eagle thing, just doing what he did there, just walking into the other gender's bathroom is a court-martialable offense.
Well, it'll be something, some sort of brig time or
Yeah,
something.
what if Maverick is a lady, though?
I don't think he presented himself as
I don't think at that point they were on.
Doesn't
the
have to present, he just has
base
to tell you.
grounds.
Well,
That's
if
how he ended
if you're an
up.
officer, though, like conduct unbecoming of a officer or a gentleman still applies.
Yep.
What about an officer and a gentleman?
Well, you're supposed to be both. And he's
Neither.
pretty much neither. Like,
Definitely.
Barely one.
Yeah.
He's a
the other.
maverick.
So anyway, cut to the next day, and now we find out that lady who turned him down
Is
twice
his mom. No.
is not his mom.
Kind of,
She's
not to be rude.
that haircut does add a few years.
I just didn't
And a
find
few
her,
years adds a few years.
Yeah, I didn't find her attractive. I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry,
No,
lady.
I didn't too much either.
Now, is Jennifer Connelly playing the same character? Okay.
No, in the sequel, she just plays one of the many women that Tom Cruise had a thing with and left behind.
And he's getting Haley Atwell now?
That is. I live under a rock.
That's okay.
No, you don't. I live under a rock.
No,
If you live under a rock, I live in the basement of the rock.
Captain Britain. What's her name? From Captain America.
Oh,
You're talking Agent Carter?
Agent Carter.
okay.
Anyway. So we find out she's a civilian contractor. She's an astrophysicist, which I thought deals with space. I don't know how that, helps here, but
Well, I mean,
whatever.
She knows that much physics, so it could help with, figuring out airplane stuff.
Well, I guess she knows a lot about aerodynamics and the materials and how much stress they could endure or whatnot. Either way,
I disagree. I've seen her kiss. I don't think she knows shit about aerodynamics.
well, that's a 2-person maneuver, and the
I don't think he's
her
very
wingman
good.
didn't.
I don't
know
think he's a
much
very
on
good pilot then either. They are both bad at their jobs.
So she immediately starts talking about like something with the planes that they're going to be using, and Maverick's like, "That's not true. You don't know a goddamn thing."
She's talking about how the F-14 that they were flying can't invert because there's a problem with the fuel delivery system or something. He's like,
I think she was talking about the MiG.
I thought she was. I thought he was talking about the MiG too.
She was talking about the F4 that's simulating the MiG.
And he was like, "Nah, we saw that shit.
Yeah.
We got a Polaroid. We're not going to give it to you, and I'm going to flirt with you."
Iceman's like, bullshit.
Yeah, because they are bullshitting.
And then I think this is one of those classes where the timer's just running and that's it. Like,
because class is dismissed.
yeah, because Jester was like, "You had your 30 seconds. It's over. Get in the plane."
You've learned as much as you're going to learn today.
She's like, "I didn't finish a sentence."
Doesn't matter. You're the most valuable resource these pilots have. Get out of here.
Don't care what you've learned. Now climb into
Well,
this
he
30
made it a
million
point to
dollar
say
vehicle.
she's a civilian, so don't call her sir or something like
Yeah.
that. But
Don't
you,
salute her.
but you better, don't salute her. But you better listen to her.
So now we get a dogfight with Maverick versus Jester. And Maverick has a special move where he can step on the brakes in an aircraft
Yeah.
and someone will just fly right by.
Well, yeah.
Not just,
Like Bugs Bunny.
yeah, not just immediately
Yeah,
shoot you.
He stops at the edge of the cliff, and the other guy
Yeah.
just running.
Yeah.
So he pulls up to improve the plane's silhouette as much as possible for the guy to shoot. But no, it works. It works all the time. But this scene, if you understand the lingo, is pretty silly because there's a hard deck of 10,000 feet, which is for safety. It's so, you never go below that altitude so you don't crash. The hard deck in, training represents the ground. So in this scene, when he's dogfighting Jester, Jester does go below the hard deck. So technically he crashed, but Maverick chases him down there. And then later on, when he's getting yelled at for it, he's like, "I was only down there for a few seconds," which is like saying
Crash for
the plane was under the ground for a few seconds, and it's fine. We're back.
Apparently, it's the 5-second rule applies to pilots
Yeah.
too.
So technically, he had already won.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have just been like, "You died."
You died. I'm leaving. But instead, he had to chase him down and get the target lock on him just to rub salt in the wound.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry. I had pomegranate seeds before I went into the underworld.
That's all right. I landed. We just landed and fought it out.
Yeah.
So,
Got out of the plane while it was coasting to a stop.
and Maverick, he's so proud of himself. He's like, "You know what I'm going to do? Buzz the tower."
Sure.
Same guy.
It's how he finishes all of his flights.
For some
Buzz
reason,
the tower.
same guy's there
Yeah.
Well,
trying to drink his coffee
I
again.
feel like they've got somebody who's like set up. He knows when Maverick is called
Yeah.
to come back in and is like, "Here, sir, have some coffee."
Yeah.
But the guy hasn't caught on that there's 2 people involved in this little gag. So the other guy's safe.
So, that guy spills his coffee again, gets pissed.
Again.
Yep. And then he disobeys a direct order to, not do that. And then, we cut to the locker room, one of the many, many scenes where there's sweaty men in various states of undress, just talking about whatever. And there's a guy, I forget if it's Wolfman or whoever Wolfman's rear is, but he's just like spread eagle on the bench, just like, make love to me like before the war. And he's just like, oh man, Jester beat us so bad. You're just like, you're trying to take the scene seriously, but you're like, what are you doing over
I
there?
believe his call sign is Nipped Kitten.
Dip kit over here. All right, so
He's just wallowing in disgrace.
yeah, so
He's not making it any better.
Maverick's so proud. He's like, we won. And they're like, yo, you went below the hard deck. And Iceman's like,
Crashed.
I just beat him, just straight up beat him because I'm fucking Iceman.
Yeah.
And then, whatchamacallit, Jester pops in and he's like, Maverick Goose, get out of your clothes and go to Viper's office.
That's right.
Well, he says, get out of your flight
Get out of those
suits,
flight
but-
suits.
No.
Yeah. Because sure enough, the next scene begins with that LSO proclaiming, I want some butts.
Viper wants to swallow some eggs. You know.
Oh, no.
And of course, there's a man walking by with 3 cups of coffee at the exact moment that that guy walks out just to get coffee on him again.
Oh, again.
Yeah, so he's like,
My
I want
balls.
some butts. And, that's the point where we were all drifting off, and that got us back awake and alert for another few seconds.
Just in time for the volleyball match.
Yeah. So,
Hey,
yeah, basically the scene like where they get yelled at, it's what we already said. He went below the hard deck and like he's like, I only did it for a few seconds. It's like you
You're
fucking
only
died.
died for
Like,
a little bit.
go play some volleyball. Everyone take off your shirts. Now we cut to Kenny Loggins playing with the boys.
yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And yeah, I thought this scene was more substantial, or there was more than one montage.
Yeah.
I don't
first
know
of
why
all, I
this
thought it
reference
was-
is so famous.
I thought it was at the beach. First of all, it's not. It's like just at a little volleyball court at some like the base or some resort nearby. It's not nearly as long as I thought it was. There was not as many boys playing as I thought. It's just the 4 guys.
2-on-2.
It's very much.
Iceman and Slider versus Maverick
Yeah.
and Goose.
It's
Slider's
like-
just howling like an idiot.
I mean, it's basically what happens here on any given Friday, but you know,
More moving around.
yeah,
And
definitely
more shirts.
We
less
have more
shirts. Yeah,
shirts,
less
yeah.
shirts in their case. Definitely more pectoral muscles in their case, and less saggy moobs.
Well, I mean, some of us have pectoral muscles covered in saggy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not saying that there's not. I'm just saying.
Well, we all have pectoral muscles. Otherwise, we
Well-
wouldn't be able to lift candy. So
I can only move the bottom half of my arms and just fling it at
T-Rex
my face.
arms.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, but it's really a whole lot of nothing. I mean,
turns out Maverick was supposed to meet Charlie at her house at 5:30, and he was engrossed in sweaty volleyball time.
that's right.
So now he's late. Are there any stakes for this, Rob?
Yeah, because if she's up too late, she's gonna miss Matlock, and then she won't get to bed on time. And then,
But that doesn't happen. She just basically immediately forgives him and like
well, Joe,
just talk for a
here's the
while.
thing you need to understand.
Yeah.
They're in love.
Well,
pre-love.
there's, yeah, I mean, the stakes
Pre-love.
are that he didn't.
Yeah, he's
get
got
to fuck her
pre-love
that
dripping
night.
night.
all down her leg.
Well, but she was like, the landing strip's open. Like you could, you have permission to buzz the tower. And he's like, I'm gonna go take a shower.
Well, it was a little
he's
bit.
like, he's like, I'm gonna go take a shower. Do you mind? She's like, yeah, I mind.
That's
Well, that was
He's
when he
like,
first
I'm gonna
got
go
there.
take a shower while you get this ready. And it's like, the fuck? What, you want me to make you a sandwich? I mean, that is what I was doing, but fuck.
besides, you're immediately just gonna sweat yourself up again right when you get out of
Yeah,
there.
yes.
You guys don't know the art of subtle sex begging, apparently.
yeah,
I gave up
like,
on that shit 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm going to take a shower. Please come in there. I'm not
so
going to say it.
she at first was like, "Now you're not getting
Yeah.
banged," but then changed her mind But then he played the reverse psychology on her. It was like, no, I'm not going to bang you because...
Well, he sealed the deal with
state
the
levels
talk
were off the
about
charts here.
how his dad was dead. You know, his dad died under mysterious circumstances or something.
Yeah, I tried that.
That
Didn't
got her
really-
all hot.
Doesn't really do much.
Necrophilia.
And then we just go right to
Just
the
makes
next
things
day
Weird.
where he just approaches her in an elevator and sweats on her.
Yeah, she's like, oh, you need a shower
Yeah.
again.
You know, Comrade Cockblock with his mighty mustache walks in just in time to stop that from happening. And then,
Don't let me stop you, y'all. Down at the outpost.
and we're like, movie, what are we even doing now? Because now we cut, it's like Goose and Maverick are at an airport and just talking to each other. And I guess the airport doesn't have air conditioning either because they're still sweaty as fuck.
Yeah, nowhere that these
Yeah.
people go is air conditioned. It's part of their training.
Mm-hmm.
Just swelter the whole time.
Plane lands, deploys a Meg Ryan. Turns out that that's Goose's wife, and Goose
And
has
Munchkin.
a kid.
Turns out she has no interest in keeping any secrets
Nope.
whatsoever.
Well, it's that hair, man. That hair is wild.
So
Does that make her a maverick?
No, I guess it makes her unattractive enough to let this other lady be the top build
Female
love
lead.
interest.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, Meg, we're going to make you look like a homeless person.
like, all right, Meg Ryan's here now, I guess. Does that have anything to do with anything? Nope. Back to the classroom. And this is such a weird scene.
She's at least like fun.
Yeah. But there's a scene now where we're watching these bad, like, 80s vector graphics of like what the avionics would have at the time of like planes kind of flying near each other. And Viper's like, all right, so Maverick, he should have disengaged. But what did he do, Charlie? And Charlie's like, oh, he did this S-turn, which is the wrong thing to do because he won. And so he should have ran away.
Well, you know that time you won that game of chess with that cool move you did? You should have done a different move.
Yeah.
You're disqualified.
And so Maverick's like, fuck you. And just, he storms out of there. Like,
Hey, John, remember when you went to the bathroom a little while ago and you didn't piss your pants? You did it wrong.
I did it wrong.
turns out you were supposed to disengage.
Yeah.
When you get to the bathroom, you're supposed to break right.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I don't know what he, like, I guess that kind of sucks to hear, but, like, I would have just been like, yeah, so who's right, who's wrong here?
I won.
Basically, you're saying I fucked it up, but I won.
Okay, but if words didn't exist and all we had was this scoreboard,
Yeah.
there'd still be a 1 next to my name, right?
If this were an actual dogfight and I would still be here and the teacher would
Yeah,
be
it
a
would be
smoldering crater.
I guess you can demerit me or whatever. Take away my Gryffindor house points, you salted bitch.
I mean, I guess he's mad because he wants the trophy, but like, and I guess he didn't get as many points as Iceman, who did it like a textbook way.
I guess I do forget that there is a Harry Potter style
Yeah.
house point.
There is a house cup here.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she's trying to like catch up to him to explain herself, and this dickhead's just sitting on his motorcycle, revving it like, I can't hear you. You go drive off. And then, he both runs a stop sign and he is airborne when he's running the stop sign going through an intersection.
Well, how are you going to stop at a stop
Well,
sign?
yeah, I mean,
It's not like he's in his plane, Joe. He can't just pull the brake.
sorry, officer, I was flying. I couldn't stop.
Actually, that would have been funnier if he could do that. He just like hit the brake and stopped.
So he's driving like an asshole.
Yeah, so
And she's like, oh, I could be an infantile too.
she does have a pretty cool looking car. I forget what that was, but it's a neat looking car.
An accident waiting to happen.
But she drives it terribly
For
through
a
the
second,
intersection.
but for a second I thought this was in Cuba because like all the
Yeah.
friggin' cars are like classic old. Cars. It's not really a joke. It was just a dumb observation.
I don't know anything about Cuban and cars.
Well, I mean, they're probably
I guess they can't import
they're
anything.
probably
So yeah,
not
no,
going to
they-
be cool with the Navy doing.
Yeah.
No, they actually have
Flight
like
school
50s
there.
and 60s automobiles pretty much exclusively because of what you just said.
Yeah.
They can't import them, so they keep them maintained, and
Yeah, and like
it's really weird to be
yeah.
there.
I think the just the weather and everything is kind of
yeah, like they don't have to salt the roads.
yeah
and whatnot.
lends itself to preservation of the old cars.
So anyway,
Yeah, not a joke. Sorry.
But yeah, she
So-
blows through an intersection, and it's not green for her because she screws up a whole bunch of other
He's
cars.
about
Yeah.
to blow through his intersection.
and
Yeah.
he's yelling at her like, "How dare you drive so terribly?" And it's like, "Fuck you! You weren't exactly doing so great there either."
Well, fuck you. Well, fuck you.
He's like, "Well, I can't. You didn't let me finish my sentence. Basically, I'm falling in love with you."
Fuck me.
He's like, "Can I kiss you now?" She's like, "I don't know. Can you?" We find out
The answer is no.
No.
you cannot.
Oh, yeah.
They,
So,
Do you kiss like you drive? Yes.
Yeah, like a whore.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, this is not a sexy sex scene. It's like two people that are attractive, but like they forgot how to kiss and are learning right now. Because they're just like opening their mouths near each other and like with their tongue.
It looks like they are passing soup back and forth.
Yeah, and like the moment their tongues touch, they both immediately withdraw them like, ugh. And they like,
Yeah.
"Eh."
yeah, it's like the director was like wanted to make a point of make sure they know you're slipping the tongue.
Yeah.
So they had to keep their mouths open as wide as possible, but just far enough apart that you can see their tongues going into each other. Just ugh.
It's
it's-
just awful.
And this is one of those scenes where it's like, the lighting's really low, so they're basically silhouettes. So this is hard to fuck up. Like you have to actively work to fuck this kind of sex scene up. They sure did. So yeah, overall, very low marks.
He kisses like he drives.
If anyone out there, if anyone out there listening has ever made out with Tom Cruise or what's the other lady, just let us know.
Or call signs Charlie.
Call sign Charlie.
She's a civilian. Why does she even have a call sign?
Something McGillis or whatever.
I think it's Kelly McGillis.
Kevin McGillicuddy.
That's a good question because, like, I don't think she's ever going up in a plane or anything.
No.
'Cause it's
or on the
cool.
radio with him.
Okay, Brick, because it's cool.
I do not accept coolness.
All right.
They were like, hey, also, welcome to the job. Here's your cubicle. Here's
You're a
your
sweaty man.
your packet of information. And she
is-
said, can I have a call sign? And they said, sure.
What's your first name?
Yeah, I mean she is a contractor with top secret clearance, so
And she chose Charlie because
She's an angel.
Oh, one funny thing with the security clearance too, I do like how that scene back in the beginning where he's giving her shit, where he's like, "That's classified, I can't tell you," and she's like, "I have top secret clearance." And he's like, "Oh, okay, just no verifications, nothing." Just,
Well, like he tells her, but there's still like he doesn't give her the Polaroid. There's no evidence. They're still like totally hamming it up. It's not even. It's just.
and she looks like she smells like cigarettes.
well, in fairness, everyone in this movie is heavily smoking,
Yes.
That's true. But she looks like
except
she
for Tom Cruise.
except for
smells
Tom
like-
Cruise.
right. Keep his thetan levels up.
Yeah. You need a good cardio to fly an aircraft too. I don't know why you'd be smoking, but anyway. So they're where we listen to "Take My Breath Away" while this terrible sex scene happens, and then it immediately cuts to Goose and Maverick on the runway, and they're like, "I have the need for speed. High five."
Yeah.
Vin Diesel shows up.
They're up there. Jester and Viper are now up there, against Maverick, and Hollywood's flying the other plane. Tom Cruise is like, "Hey, Hollywood, watch me fuck this up." So I'm supposed to stay with you because you're my wingman, and we're going after Jester.
Yeah,
But,
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, Viper's up here, so I want to kill him. So I'm gonna go do that. You good luck on your own.
Yeah.
And he goes to chase after Jester, who's just like, "Oh, or a Viper, I'm sorry, who's just like, oh, I'm so lonely over here. I hope a Tom Cruise comes by. Tom Cruise is like, oh, I'm going to hit that.
It'd be
And
a
then-
shame if someone
It literally is.
took advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like the trap where Bugs Bunny puts lipstick on himself.
Yeah. And
I hope nobody comes at my big juicy.
Wow.
Rob chose to break away.
Good call. Good call.
Hit the air brakes.
So,
He's still blue screen.
So Maverick's chasing down Viper.
meanwhile, Jester just beats Hollywood like the bitch he is, and then pops up behind Maverick, takes him up the ass, and just like, you lost. You got your wingman killed. Then I killed you. Go home, cry.
And he does.
Basically, yeah. So now
Go bust the tower again.
this next scene was confusing me, not for like the narrative purpose.
Was that where we got Danger Zone number 3?
No. I don't know. Danger Zone number 3, I think, is no, I don't know when Danger Zone 3 was actually. I think this is when we thought we had Danger Zone, but then like some synthesizer bleepy bloop
Yeah,
showed
it was
up.
almost Danger
Yeah.
Zone.
It's 80s zone.
Yeah. He got shot down before he could get to the Danger Zone. But this scene, there's like 6 men with towels around their waist, sulking next to the showers
Yeah.
in, I don't know what this room is. And
It's the sulk room.
Sometimes
Yeah.
when you get depressed enough, it's dicks out.
If you get that depressed, sometimes only one shower works. Because I think there is
golden
one
shower.
guy in the shower while they're soaking right outside his shower stall.
Yeah.
And then he gets out and joins them in sulking.
yeah. Well, Iceman comes by, he's like, Maverick, and I remember Iceman being like a twat, and he just like, Maverick, you're like, it's not your flying, you're a good pilot, you have the wrong attitude for this. You should
just an
maybe
asshole.
try not being so much of an asshole, maybe think for a second before you do stuff.
And the audience is just like, yeah. Yes, please. Why?
And what I liked also in this scene, if you look on the board behind him, right, this is Top Gun. This is best of the best in the Navy, like top 1% of the Navy's pilots. Why is there a Navy recruiting poster there?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, well, I know why it's there,
Yeah,
but like,
exactly, yeah.
in the film, why
Let's
is that there?
say it's
I
just.
have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I don't know either. Oh, that's
It's my work phone.
this son of a bitch. So, and this is obviously just a wild guess, but it explains it away pretty succinctly. It's just the newest recruitment poster, and they just want to show off the new poster.
They just send one to Top Gun.
Yeah, I mean,
so
they probably
people go
send
take
it
a
to
look
all
at
the
it.
different branches.
Yeah.
Like, this is our new advertising
Put the subliminal
campaign.
message in the brains of all the young fellas and ladies that are watching to
Next time they're at Animal Night,
Well,
they can recruit some chicks.
I mean, that's actually why it was there. The Navy was like, we get to put a few posters up in this bitch.
Right.
So,
I was thinking in universe.
yeah.
Some of the furries from the bar.
So now it cuts to a double date where we have Goose is at a piano singing "Great Balls of Fire." His son's sitting on top of the
Poorly.
piano, just wishing he was somewhere else.
Yeah.
Then we have Maverick is back at a table. His girlfriend is at across the table watching him cuddle up to Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
Yep.
or vice versa.
It's one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I wasn't married to Goose, I would totally bang you.
What?
And now, I mean, that's basically what she said.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
one of those.
Meg Ryan's like she doesn't say it quite in these words, but Goose was at the piano with their son like 3 feet away. She's like, Goose, take me home and fuck me. He's like, come over here and show me the way. Like, they just go off and like she sits on his lap while he's playing the piano, and they all badly sing "Great Balls of Fire," and you're like,
Goose.
life is good for all of them, I guess. Let's see how the movie fucks that up.
Don't worry.
Because now we cut to Oh, no, I'm sorry. It cuts to the actual Great Balls of Fire song while Tom Cruise and Charlie here ride on a motorcycle to go park down by the docks and make out some more.
Ugh, it's so gross.
It is. And now it's 2 weeks to graduation. The trophy's still up for grabs. You know, Slytherin's ahead of Gryffindor by 2 points. And
But don't worry, Neville's gonna pull some bullshit at the last minute.
Oh, yeah.
Get 160 points for having the heart of a champion, and it's gonna win for everybody because
Spoiler
fuck
alert.
rules,
That's
man.
not how this goes.
No,
This actually takes
Neville
a-
Longbottom does not appear.
Yeah, Neville Longbottom slams his head on the cockpit roof.
Wow.
So
Not incorrect, but wow.
His last words were, "I love you, here."
Oh, clonk.
all right, so now they're back up in the sky. They're and now they're dog fighting again, and Iceman's just like, I'm gonna be in front of you, but like I'm not gonna do anything.
Because
Maverick's-
he's being cool.
Yeah.
He wants to make sure by the book you get the tone, then you get the better tone, then you pull the trigger.
Maverick's like,
Then the computer pulls the trigger for you.
so
Well,
we
yes.
could all fit in the frame. I guess I have to fly right up your ass. Like why he wouldn't just drop back more and fire a missile. But either way, he's just like, he's right there in Maverick's butt, and he like flies into his jet wash, which causes the plane to spin out of control. The engines flame out.
Flat spin.
Yep. The F-14's flying like a ninja star towards the ocean.
And the jet wash is just like the fart cloud
Yeah.
of the jet.
Now, in fairness, the F-14 has 2 very large engines making a lot of farts. It's powerful.
Yeah, it's kind of.
You'll notice when they take off, they have to put up that shield to protect everyone.
Yeah.
I'm liking this four guy OG setup we got going here. I've noticed it's a lot cooler in this room than normal.
Yeah, it might just be because we watched 2 hours of very sweaty men.
Yeah.
Yes, by comparison.
Our bodies are compensating.
Yeah. We're in an ice box.
So I understand the jet wash part and whatnot. The plane's out of control. They got to eject. I don't understand how this goes so wrong so fast.
I actually researched it, and apparently this actually happened in real life. So the issue with the flat spin, because of the way that works, it totally screws up the way that it ejects the canopy and then ejects the seats. So I think there was the RIO, radio intercept officer or operator, who's in the back seat. That seat's supposed to go first.
Radar
Then,
intercept, but
thank you.
yeah.
Then the front seat's supposed to eject. The problem is that the cockpit doesn't actually, or the canopy doesn't actually clear fast enough because of the way that the air pressure is going. So what you're supposed to do, from what I read, is you're supposed to eject the canopy, then manually do the seat eject. And the difference in time between ejecting the canopy and doing the seat eject is supposed to be enough. But this allegedly actually happened and did actually kill somebody. And if I remember correctly, they said all they were able to find from the guy's head was his wrecked helmet.
Well, yeah,
Fucking brutal. Like,
You're going at high speeds here, and you're getting that thing's firing you on a rocket.
it's firing you on a rocket so hard that, and I do know that this is a fact because my brother told me you can only eject twice.
Yeah, it
It's
compresses your spine
yeah.
when you do.
So no one enjoys it. It's a last
Like you're
minute.
going to the hospital for a
Yeah.
while after you do.
And actually, apparently, when you eject, it's not unknown to have it dislocate joints and break arms. And I'm like, fuck. So yeah, I'm glad I'm not in the Air Force.
Better than ejecting from a helicopter, though.
So this asshole dies.
So yeah, he slams against the canopy.
You just see his entire skeleton crumple inside his body.
Like his parachute still goes off. He lands in the water. Tom Cruise finds him, and then the rescue scene. You're kind of like, oh man, because a helicopter comes and they just like hook a winch up to him and just
Well, that's because the emergency rescue guy in
Yeah.
the water is like, yeah, this dude's dead.
Yeah.
Just drop the hook. Like,
Yeah.
don't bother with the stretcher.
Well, I mean, they didn't need to show it in film.
Yeah,
It's like,
I mean, it definitely like increases the dude.
yeah.
So
and no, I don't think so, because at this point it starts looking goofy. It's like in Transformers 2 that we watched, where they just dump Optimus Prime's corpse on the.
I don't know. I was just like, oh yeah, all right, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
but
think
like that's the thing.
It's
Once-
a very not dignified rescue,
Yeah.
but at least in this scenario, it's like there's not really anything else they could have
No.
done.
Once they show his head crunch, you're like, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And like they could like start showing it lift up, but we had to watch it the whole way up to the helicopter. And at that point,
Yeah.
it starts to just look. You're just like, okay, they got a dummy on a winch. What kind of silliness is gonna happen? And it starts to lose its potency there, I think.
You know what also wrecks the potency? You don't see a funeral. You see like Tom Cruise and Charlie get back from the funeral or something. He drives off, and then it's just him in his underwear in a bathroom somewhere. That's where Viper finds him. And it's like
You just finished shaving.
Yep, you gotta let go.
why is there a towel draped over the entire sink? I don't.
Shaving.
Is that how you shave?
Yeah, it collects the shaving, so you don't leave a bunch of hair in the sink.
Why wouldn't you just wash it down the sink?
Because that's how you clog
Yeah,
your
you gotta
sink,
get
dummy.
Drano.
I mean, look at the size of my beard. It's been a while. So,
Yeah.
but even when I did shave, I just washed it down the sink.
Okay.
I didn't.
No, I mean this is so you don't get hair all over like the edge of the sink. And, like,
Well, that
you just,
too.
You
Yeah.
can just take the towel, wrap it up, throw it in the hamper, and
Dump
Why
the
didn't
shavings in
Viper
the toilet
wait for him to
somehow.
leave the bathroom to have the important you gotta let Goose go
Because
conversation?
then he
because
would
he'd been in there all day, Joe.
Yeah, that's true.
It took him
That's true.
5 hours to shave.
That's right. He has just been.
That's why everybody else on the base is sweaty because the steam is just going
Yeah.
everywhere.
Tom Skerritt was actually in there taking a shit. It's like, all right.
He's
He was-
not coming out.
Yeah, he's like, okay, well, I gotta wrap this up.
Plus, it's just that's the military. Like they got something to say to you. They're just gonna find you wherever you are.
Chill out, Maverick.
Yeah.
I've seen your dick and balls before.
No, I'm
A weird one I heard. Granted, this was over 20 years ago, but I heard on an aircraft carrier when they go into port, for some reason, like when the ship's docked, they just take the doors off the bathroom stalls.
Probably
and then,
so you can't bring ladies in there.
Yeah.
And fuck them.
Oh.
and then when the ship is back underway, they put the doors back.
Huh.
So yeah,
Probably
or
so
like
they can't see you fucking each other.
yeah.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yes, right.
Don't look, don't smell.
So, all right, now he goes to pick up Goose's stuff from wherever they were living. Decides he's just going to steal Goose's dog tags.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it is to get dog tags, but you'd think that would be something that the
Should be
family
his
would
wife,
want.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, in the director's cut, he actually steals Goose's son.
Well, you find out in the sequel he does screw him over.
So this is probably not the best time because it's
There's
kind
no
of a
good
sad
one.
point in the movie.
Yeah.
But everybody on this base has a fucking house.
Yeah.
That's not how my brother described it, being in a fucking barracks.
Is your brother an officer?
So yeah, I think pilots get their own house. They're officers.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pilots are special, man.
I mean, not
That's,
not
really
when they're on
special.
deployment, but
Wow.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
maybe I don't know about lieutenants like Maverick, but you're usually a captain, a major, or a lieutenant flying a plane. So yeah, you have a commission, and you're paid quite well. So they actually do give you a little house.
I didn't know they had that much space on bases like that.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
just have a house for everybody.
Mm-hmm. for all the officers.
Yeah, if you're just a regular enlister, then you stay in
Yeah.
the barracks.
Yeah. Like I think
Okay.
like the NCOs might get an apartment that some of them would share or something like that.
Wow.
I don't know that for certain, but
Interesting.
anyway, yeah. So anyway, now what are we even doing?
Our
We
love
go
to a cowboy.
Yeah, he steals Goose's dog tags. We say goodbye to Meg Ryan. She's out of the picture. Thanks for showing up. We cut to the military tribunal. They're like, Maverick, you didn't fuck up. The whole thing just sucked. There's some guy in the background who Rob noticed that appears to just be like huffing paint or something. Like maybe just smells really bad in that room.
He's doing like, I don't know. It looks like he's doing like Philly Fanatic cosplay or something. He's got like a megaphone or a cone or something like on his face. At least that's what it looks like.
Making Darth Vader noises to
There's
himself.
no explanation.
Maybe it's a feed bag.
I mean, no, I don't know what it is.
I got snacks in here.
It could be like he had a churro. He was munching on it.
All right, so either way, now Maverick has to fly again now, and he sucks. He won't engage. He doesn't have any confidence.
It's not good.
He's got beaver fever.
Yes, he can't get it up anymore.
It's because he's not near Migs.
And
Or Meg.
yeah, and his RIO, his rear his name's Sundown. Sundown's pissed. He's like, we should probably like try to shoot down some of these bad guys.
Sure. Yeah.
Tom Cruise is like,
Get
I'll
some
fucking
points.
kill you. It's like, we'll kill things when I say it's time to kill things. I do the killing around here, Dad.
Well,
Then
yeah.
And I killed you.
and we cut to like, we're in the locker room again, and Iceman comes up to Maverick, and Maverick's changing into his civvies. And you're like, this might be a point where like you could see Iceman doing one of those like backhanded, like, my condolences to Goose. It's a shame that, you're such a wild card, and so dangerous or something like that.
Yeah, it could have been like, you got him killed or something.
He's
But-
lucky he's got out of there before you got him killed.
Iceman's just like a nice guy. He's like, I don't like you, but I'm going to try to be nice to you.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to walk away.
Yeah.
And you see Wolfman here, though, is like snooping around the corner, and he looks like, why did I have to hear that? And we're like, why are you even here?
Yeah, what is what?
And there's a
What?
pointless scene of him calling no one on a phone, just saying,
No, I think
He
he
was
called.
calling Charlie.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but like,
Who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, Maverick quit. And Maverick just goes to the airport to sulk and drink some ice water. Charlie's like, all right, so you know how you're like the greatest pilot? Now you're like a bitch. Can you like stop doing that?
that's really drying me out. You know?
Yeah, he's like, oh, you got a new job in Washington, all your work on the MiG-28. You're going to go leave. I don't need your help. I don't need you.
First Goose leaves me, now you leave me.
I need Goose. Goose is dead.
Goose is cooked.
Yep.
All right,
Goose
so
cremated.
Who's got bumped?
Charlie's like, all you learn to do in Top Gun is quit. You mastered that maneuver. And she's like, goodbye, Maverick, and leaves him.
Good day,
To that
sir.
point that she doesn't call him Maverick anymore.
Oh, that's right.
She calls him
Yep.
Calls him a bitch.
Peter, whatever.
Yeah, 'cause he's Pete
Pumpkin
Mitchell.
eater.
Which is not a name you want.
So now Maverick goes to just a house, and you're like, what's even happening here? And it's Viper's house. And Viper's like, all right, so your dad, that there's a kind of pointless subplot about him being kind of disgraced. He was a cool guy. And I think you could be a cool guy. You got enough points to graduate, or you could quit. I don't know. Do what you want. Get off my lawn.
Also, like,
See you at graduation
if
tomorrow.
you aren't a cool guy, I will have told you something that can end my career. So you better
Yeah.
be a cool guy because I just put my neck out for you.
Because I can't go back to cleaning windows.
He told him the confidential piece of information of, I was there to witness your dad be a cool guy.
And get shot down.
Yep.
Yep.
In a
Saved
war
my
that
life, or
happened
whatever.
probably, at least 15 years prior.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did not spill any confidential information there. But anyway, Maverick's like, I'll go to graduation, whatever. Slytherin could have the house cup. So, yeah,
Have
Iceman.
we really established that he's Slytherin?
No,
though?
because he's a
Like,
good
he's
guy.
a
like,
good dude. Yeah.
He's legitimately concerned for
Yeah.
Maverick's well-being.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he he goes to graduation, congratulates Iceman on winning the trophy, and they all get their orders to go to the Indian Ocean. And this scenario, that the combat scenario we're thrown into here for the climax of the film, is delightfully vague.
It's a crisis scenario.
It's a crisis. We're in the Indian Ocean.
You have to depart immediately before this gets out of hand, and you all drink ice water.
Some ship has just drifted into enemy territory. Who's the enemy? I don't know. And we need to provide them air support. These are Russian MiG-28s with French Exocet missiles in the Indian Ocean. Who's flying them? Don't care.
Hey, that would be a crisis.
Yeah.
Because you would have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. So, like, the movie's like, I don't know, they're Russians maybe, but we're not going to say they're Russians. They have red stars on them. That's Russian.
They're foreign. That's all we need to
They're
know.
foreign. Yeah. They're not American.
They're the other guy.
So we can blow them up.
Yeah. They even have like the full face shield on, so you can't even see what nationality they are, what race they are, nothing.
No, yeah. No, you can't give them humanity.
No.
No, they're just there to be shot down.
Yeah.
They are flying American planes that are spray painted black, though, so that's okay.
They should
Worked
have
for the Tiger.
They should have shown every pilot there with the picture of their family on the little dash.
Looking really sad when the missile leaves the plane.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the thing. It should close in on their face, and they'll just go
So,
explode into 1,000 pieces.
all right. So they need to provide air support, and like Wolfman and Iceman here, or I'm sorry, Hollywood and Iceman are going to go out and patrol.
Hollywood Hogan.
Maverick's on backup, and Iceman's like, "Hey, officer, Maverick kind of doesn't like to kill things anymore, and I really question his competency." Officer's like, "Shut up." that's all that
He
happens
does
to
open
that.
it with like, "This is not personal."
Yeah.
Like he's legitimately like, "I don't think this is a good idea for anyone involved." And
What if
yeah,
it was Hollywood Hogan playing Hollywood?
Well, Hollywood Hogan became Hulk Hogan became Hollywood Hogan in 1996.
Yeah, if
What,
it was
he
Hollywood
didn't?
Hogan playing Hollywood, he wouldn't fit in that cockpit.
No.
I know that would make it more fun. Like he'd be all crunched up in there.
Smushed against the glass.
Yeah, and that's what caused the just. The
Where'd he
top-
go?
Bogey, there's a brother, there's a bogey on my tail.
That's how he lost the hair just
But
on the top of his
in
head.
fairness, when Hollywood gets shot with the missile, though, he would have ejected and then dropped the leg on the MiG behind him and taken that one down.
Or the elbow.
Yeah.
now that would be a very good sequel for Hot Shots if they just had wrestlers in the jets.
And then he
Just
eats
be like Randy Savage.
too much pork and
Hulk
says
Hogan.
the N-word. All right, so what, was the, what were we going on about? What were we talking?
So
'Cause I'm wild.
we Macho Madness, sky's the limit. So Maverick's sitting on the deck as backup, and they're like, all right, so we get more cool shots of planes taking off because that's fun. And then there's two bogies, they're on the way to the carrier. And Iceman and Wolfman are on them. But the bogies are like, you forgot that we can multiply. Right? Like someone got them wet and suddenly there's 6 of them. Like they divide like crazy. And Wolfman, this Top Gun trained fighter who theoretically graduated Top Gun, just gets shot down like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we better launch Maverick then. One of them's down.
When you're up there, you got to push it.
Yep.
Well, at that point, they were like, launch all the planes, and
Yeah.
apparently everyone except for Maverick is broken.
There are 4 catapults on an aircraft carrier. All of them broke at once.
Except for Mavericks.
Well, no, Maverick launched. Then they're
And
like,
then it
let's get
broke.
the other ones. Then they
Yeah.
broke, yeah. Maverick broke them all on the way out somehow.
He's still trying to get points, so he sabotaged all of them.
Yeah.
Goose would want me to do this.
Sabotage all the catapults in an actual combat scenario. Yep.
I don't know for certain exactly how those don't break. It's just like a steam piston. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm sure
it's
they
just,
do break because it's a moving part, but like not trivially.
and not 4 at once. But
Yeah, no.
the movie's just like lazy writing, whatever.
Yeah.
So, all right, now Maverick's, he's on his way, right? And there's-
Also, like it's an aircraft carrier.
yeah,
There should be like other ships in the area.
Yeah,
There's,
that's
like,
that's
none.
the other thing. Is, those don't go anywhere without the Aegis cruiser that defends against incoming bogeys and missiles and whatnot.
Anyway.
But that's not there. There's no other fighters around. It's just Maverick and Iceman, and those bogeys just keep dividing in half. So what do we gotta take care of this situation? Maverick gets there and he's like, yeah, these bogeys just keep dividing in half. I don't even know how many there are. Fuck it, I'm out. He's like, Tim Robbins is in the back of the plane with me. This is unacceptable.
He's taking a hole out the side.
Maverick's like, all like in the camera, and like, Tim Robbins is in the background, like.
He really is obnoxious.
At a certain point, Maverick's like,
It's no good. It's no.
And you're just like, okay, we know he's gonna like bug out for a second and then immediately come back, and that sure is what happened.
I'm in the wash. I
He
can't
starts
cut
just
your heart.
peeling his own skin off.
So he comes back,
It's no good.
and there's no good way to film a dogfight between like 8 jets in any coherent manner. So this movie basically just kind of tells you what's going on through their yelling.
Right.
And
I was like, are they saying where they're turning so that the other planes people know where they're going, or is it just for the audience?
You do want to
both.
say stuff like that,
Yeah.
and when you're in combat. It's one of, I think, only movie I can remember with the dog fighting where they're not yelling Fox before they fire the missiles either.
Yeah, I thought that they did that.
They do. But anyway, basically Maverick kills a bunch of these planes. Iceman gets one of them. The last one is on Maverick's tail, but Maverick again steps on the brakes. The plane flies right by.
It worked in training. Why not?
Yeah. And, he shoots that one down. So now there's only 2 bogeys, and there's Iceman and Maverick. And those 2 are like, yeah, I don't like how it went for the other 4, so we're going to go. And
I'm going over there. I'm going home.
yeah. And everyone's cheering. Yay! We saved them.
Well, no.
So Wolfman, he gets rescued. Everyone's alive. So now they're coming back, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, permission to buzz the tower. Permission denied. It's that same guy in the tower. And sure enough, he's going to get his coffee. I wonder what's going to happen. Do you think he's going to drink it? Nope. Buzz the tower.
Oh, he drank it on his shirt.
And again, spills it. So I do like in the Legal Eagle video, they did point out that this is technically a time of war now, and you're just like feloniously misbehaving in an aircraft could be punishable by the death penalty. Like that could be a firing squad offense. But the other funny part too is they land and everyone on the deck's like, yeah, they're all running over, everyone's cheering. Everyone's like, planes were just coming to shoot the aircraft carrier. Like no one's cares about that anymore. Everyone's celebrating.
He ended the war.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, America wins. And it's like,
You're the bad guys.
don't we have to fix all 4 catapults?
No,
No.
they already did.
They did, yeah.
Sorry, we were just hitting wrong buttons.
So I know it's supposed to be like a big triumphant moment for everyone, but it's like the Navy would be like, great job, but they wouldn't no one would drop everything they're doing and, ignore the Russian planes with French missiles in the Indian Ocean.
They blew up the Death Star, though.
Have a high five and hug orgy.
Yeah. And then
Play volleyball on the deck.
to wash this down, we now see the writer's like, we need a metaphor for Maverick finally letting go of Goose and being back to normal. Those dog tags he has that the family probably wants. Huck those overboard. Fuck them.
The
Pollute
hell,
the
man?
ocean.
Yeah.
Like, what is...
It's just dick move.
It really is the worst. Like,
Doesn't even consider maybe she gave them to him,
Yeah.
and he's like, okay, I can move on. Do you want them back?
Yeah. Maybe your son who might want to be
yeah.
a pilot, might want them.
Even if he's not a pilot,
Yeah.
he just wants his
To
dad's
remember
dog
his dad.
tags. Yeah,
Yeah.
does he have a brother?
Yeah. So now the angry guy, the angry bald guy, the captain here, he comes up to Maverick. He's like, yeah, good job. the Russians are denied. No, he says the enemy denied that anything ever happened. So I guess we're in the clear for killing all those people.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So, the Navy's like, you killed 4 people. You can now do whatever you want. Like, where do you want to go? And he's like, I'm going to be an instructor at Top Gun. And the captain's like, well, at least you're not going to be here. So good.
Get out.
Get out. And back at Top Gun, he's back in the bar. And suddenly somebody plays the Righteous Brothers. He's
Bruce Springsteen.
oh no, just like 20 pirates, 20 pilots
20 pirates.
are going to come over and sexually assault me. And Charlie like shows up and she's like, can we kiss for real
Oh,
this
she
time?
shows up out of nowhere because he
walked
walks through.
past, yeah.
Yeah, and then she's just there. And I'm like, she's going to assassinate him. She's a Russian.
Well, she is a government contractor with top secret clearance.
Yeah,
She's
but
the elf on the shelf.
yeah.
Well, what you didn't see was the bartender just pulled off the Mission Impossible mask and it was her all the time.
Well, no, first it was Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Looking at Tom Cruise, and then it was her.
So now she's like, can we kiss for real? And he's like, I don't know. Let's try again. And the movie's like, they can't cut something else.
Like, you don't want to see this.
Fade to black.
Yeah, you see 2 F-14s flying off real dangerously close to each other.
Danger zone.
And Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Top
And we
Gun.
didn't really, we mentioned it, but we didn't really talk about the jet detecting boner that one of these
Oh, I
guys
forgot.
had.
Yeah, completely about Wolfman's hard-on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the pilots, legitimately, apparently, his dick can sense
Yeah.
the
presence of
approaching
MiGs.
jets. Yeah.
Well, the one that was with Wolfman, he's like, MiGs have to be close. I have a hard-on.
Yeah.
Says that over the radio to everyone. I'm sure that, back in the CIC, they all heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, he wanted them to hear that.
Yeah, they have the radar display, and then they have like the
hard-on.
electrodes on Wolfman's penis. And they're like, oh well, he's picking something up. Go to general quarters.
So Wolfman, like it's not him that goes Krinos, it's just his dick
So,
in the presence
His
of
dick
Migs.
could smell MiGs.
Yes.
so Top Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
What's the general consensus on Top Gun, Brick?
Well, on the tomato meter, as they call it, is a 58%. And the audience score was 83%. So there was a little disagreement there.
Yeah.
So do we have any disagreement among us, bros?
Uh,
Who wants to go first?
This is where Tony arbitrarily picks someone.
Yeah.
Rob, you're a host. Pick someone, or you go.
Joe, I think you should go first. Let's get a baseline here.
All right.
I love
So
how we're all trying to avoid this.
yeah, this movie has not aged well. I remember this being a lot better than it actually was. That being said,
It's that soundtrack.
the soundtrack's it's a very good soundtrack. It's right where
For
it needs to
3
be in the
songs.
80s. Yeah, but those are good 3 songs. Mm-hmm. They get a lot of mileage out of them. I worked with somebody who had rituals for "Take My Breath Away," "Danger Zone," and some other song from the Top Gun soundtrack. He played them, like he played "Take My Breath Away" when he went to pick his wife up. And I forgot, Danger Zone was something driving in his car, which you shouldn't do. I forgot we did the other one, but he explained like how he soundtracked large portions of his life to the Top Gun soundtrack.
Sounds like a douche.
I kicked him in the dick and ran away.
Yeah.
Not the balls, just like right on
Just
the
the
tip
dick.
and ran away.
See if you can
Were
make
there
it flap
MiGs nearby? Because that would make it harder to miss.
Is this anyone I know?
No.
Okay.
No,
He
they've been,
definitely sounds like a douche.
they've been well and truly ostracized from society at this point.
But that being said, I mean, I really love the F-14 Tomcat. It's a cool plane, and I like seeing it fly around in the movie. But that's about all this movie does for me. Like Maverick kind of sucks. Like, I mean, he's a good pilot, but like he's a terrible person. And like, I didn't really like Charlie either. And I sympathized way more with Iceman than I thought I was going to. Goose, the movie's like, this is your likable character. And I'm like, no, it's not. And, you know, I didn't hate Goose, but I didn't find him funny or anything. Like, cool cast, but like bad roles. That being said, like, this movie, it's not egregiously terrible, but it's pretty boring. And you know, I liked the Legal Eagle stuff made it better because just knowing like all the stupid shit that like what would actually happen. But that being said, I mean, I can't give it more than a C. Like, it's got a few cool parts, but like the sequel really is night and day. So
They
I
had
would,
how many decades?
I would recommend that.
Is it the sequel or is it the triquel?
No, it's a sequel.
'Cause wasn't there another?
No, they've just been trying to make Top Gun Maverick for a long time. It's hard to even call it really a sequel. I mean, it's like decades have gone by, and I guess it's still
the movie
I mean, it's still
yeah,
takes place after
it's the same
first
character, but it's like, I mean, I guess Iceman's in it for a little while, but other than that, there's nothing else about it. But I mean, it is Top Gun 2, I guess. Either way, I would recommend that.
John.
I don't give a fuck about fighter planes. I don't give a fuck about Tom Cruise. I think the only
What about boats?
role I've enjoyed Tom Cruise in was as Lestat in Interview with the Vampire.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, shocker.
I think you liked him in Collateral.
Collateral.
That's the movie where he's the hitman that ride around the taxi. He's pretty.
Was
yeah.
that Collateral?
That's Collateral, right?
No, I thought that was.
I don't know.
That was the one where they have the psychics that predict.
No, that's Minority Report.
Yeah, okay. Then what?
I thought it was Collateral. It could be something. I know the title had nothing really to do with the movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen that movie.
Tom Cruise has been in many things.
Lots of stuff, which generally I don't give a fuck about. Legend, actually, no. All right, that's 2. I'll give it Legend. I enjoy his performance in Legend. But
Like
anyway,
I said, John likes the sword guy stuff.
yeah, I don't give a fuck about Tom Cruise in general. I don't give a fuck about a bunch of guys in a military unit figuring out who has the biggest dick, unless they're swinging swords at each other
Or their dicks.
or their dicks. Yeah, or both.
Yeah.
Sword dicks.
Sword dicks. Yeah, I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Viggo Mortensen shit.
So yeah, if you are a person that doesn't care about fighter planes or military tactics or Tom Cruise's, then don't watch this movie.
All of those are barely even in the movie, too.
Yeah, because I didn't like any of it. Like I put in my notes about maybe 10, 15 minutes into the movie, bored already, and it stayed that way the whole rest of the time. I'd rather watch Iron Eagle again than watch this movie.
Okay.
That's saying something.
Okay.
That's a tough choice.
Rob.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I know this movie has its fans now. It's seen as I guess this is a classic 80s movie, but I don't, it's not there for me. I was kind of bored too. And it's not that I even hate planes and shit. I just thought that the plane scenes were kind of like, just not as exciting as I was hoping or thinking.
I was more like excited in the when he was driving his motorcycle like an asshole and she was driving a car like an asshole. Got my heart rate up more than the
and that may be partly just because of like limitations of the time. Like they're using actual planes, which I very much credit them for.
No, it's not. It's not because Star Wars did better dogfights than what we saw.
Yeah, but Star Wars also was using miniatures.
Use miniature planes.
Yeah, well, I'm saying it's like it's okay for what it was. It just didn't do anything for me. Ultimately, I'm not going to recommend this because there's just so many better 80s movies out there to watch. So just watch one of those. But I didn't hate it. I just didn't. It just wasn't.
Meh.
It was meh.
Yeah. It's meh.
I'm actually surprised that this is so far, I think, unanimously been not a recommend.
I mean, I'll still recommend it, but
Yeah.
only just. Very light recommend.
Now, I, again, have multiple times and will forever continue to do so, confuse this movie with Hot Shots because to me they're kind of the same movie because there's stupid-ass goofy stuff in some of it.
One is a parody of
Yeah.
the other.
Well, yes, but like usually I'll be able to recognize the parody from the real
it's
one.
pretty
but,
abundantly clear which one's which.
I mean, the thing that you were saying before about Iceman, you remember him being a dick. He wasn't a dick at all in this, and I think in Hot Shots, the rival guy is a dick. And like those kinds of things, I feel like I've gotten that kind of stuff mixed, like the stories mixed and stuff like that. But when I first started watching the movie, I was like, oh, they're probably gonna love this movie. It's a popular movie. It's got like some hot scene in it, and I was just like, this is not even slightly what I remember it to be, and it very was a Mandela effect. I guess if you haven't seen it before, Mandela effect.
You're not familiar with that?
It's
guess
a
not.
really good concept to mention.
I mean, I don't know if that's. I don't know if it's Mandela effect or just misremembering this.
Yeah, no, I mean that is effectively what Mandela effect is. But if you haven't seen this movie before, you should watch it if you value being able to know pop culture references. If you haven't seen this movie before, just watch like B-reels of military footage. It'll probably be
5-minute
cooler.
clips of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can't really recommend.
Okay. So it's time to pick our next movie, isn't it, boys?
Well, what do we want to recommend instead?
I'll say Maverick. Who cares?
Rob is very done with this movie.
Well, I rolled this, and Tony's not here.
I'm gonna say just watch all the dogfight scenes from the Star Wars movies.
Does that mean that it's my turn?
I mean, I guess we should do one of them.
I don't know which one of them rolled last.
I don't.
I believe it should be my turn.
Which one you want?
You know,
Oh,
I made this one,
But you dominated that one.
but I'm gonna go with the original this time.
roll a 20, John.
Yeah,
Gotta do it.
they're all bad.
That's a 7.
It's not a 20.
Oh shit.
Okay, well,
This is happening.
yep.
What do we got?
We've got Home Alone 2,
Oh,
fuck.
Lost in New York.
I'm sorry, everyone.
I've got some memories for that.
Eating hundreds of pigeons while they pooped on them. And
Just hitting Daniel Stern in the face with a brick like 10 times.
I do have a memory of pigeons, though. Remember the first time that I went to New York after 10 years? I was just transfixed by pigeons. I was like, look,
Yeah.
there's all these birds.
Stacy, you want to be in on this episode?
Yeah, if we could get Stacy back, that would be great.
She lives somewhere else now. No,
Yeah.
maybe not. I don't know. My brain is dead right now. Yeah.
The jet wash.
It's the jet wash.
Flamed out.
It's the jet wash from all your afterburners.
You are disengaged.
I am about to discharge
Oh,
this podcast.
Well.
You didn't let me finish this podcast. Guys, we want to thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, check out our YouTube page
yeah, we got one of them.
where we have our candy tier list video that you should all watch and hit the like button on. All right, that's it. Home Alone 2. It's going to be awful. Gird your loins.
It's no good. Got disengaged. Adios.
Bye-bye.
I had such higher expectations for this movie.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, and if possible, leave a review. If you have questions, comments, or would like to sponsor an episode, email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can buy a t-shirt, hoodie, and more at Teespring. Or gain access to exclusive content by becoming a patron at patreon.com/4ampodcast. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.